This is going to be how to take out the headlights properly. Where do you go? What sort of comes off in the process, and you can pretty much see the remnants over here where this one came out. So normally Tesla says take off the wheel, take off the panels here, and then just loosen it up and just pull it out. But the headlight fits underneath your front fender, goes under the bumper as well, so it would kind of work where you can kind of push it out, but we could not finagle it out. And if you do, what you end up doing is you can actually scratch the top edge of the headlight right around here. So the best thing we found is to remove the front bumper, which isn't too bad. There are 2 bolts here. There's 3 under the bottom. There are 5 across the front here, and then the same thing on this side, 2 and 3 at the bottom. Once you get all that loose, you can just pull the front bumper forward. Don't do it with this guy up because it won't happen. Kind of fold this one down. You can pull it out a bit. It helps to have a second person. And yeah, so once that's forward, the headlight pretty much will kind of wiggle out and pull straight out through the front. Of course, don't forget to unplug it, otherwise it won't come out. So if you're working on the driver's side headlight, this one's a bit different only because there is a nice vacuum pump in there, and if you come in here you can see it. Alright, so the other thing that you have to take note of on the driver's side is this vacuum pump. So you got to get this guy out of the way. You don't have to pull it out all the way, you just need to get it out of your way so it makes your life a little bit easier. So first thing, this is just Velcro pieces. These come off fairly simply. Take the cap off, take the sides off. Once you get these sides pulled off, it's just this piece which wraps around to this piece over here, and then this cap on top, and then it all pulls off. Once you get that pulled off, you can take off this wiring harness. This hose here will come off. There's a clip down here if you can see it that you just need to pull back, and then this hose pops right off. And once you get that hose off, you can take off this nut right here, and then underneath here there are 2 more nuts. You can see I've already loosened, and once you get all those off, this whole bracket, you can see, will pull out of the way, and then that will give you access to this area up underneath here. Now up underneath here there are going to be 3 screws. There's going to be 1 over here, and there are going to be 2 more back in here, and that's why we have to move this vacuum pump, because we can't get to these 2 screws. Alright, so we've got the car jacked up, and there is a sticker under here, which I'll show you in a different shot, that you definitely want to hit on, so you're catching the right part of the chassis here, and you're not going up into the middle too much where you can catch the pan and possibly dent it in. So once we've got it jacked up, take the wheel off, and here we've already got both the panels removed, but there's a panel that is going to cover up this area here, and there's a panel up over here that's going to cover up the headlight. So you'll get those 2 removed, and we can see the headlight now. And again, there's 3 screws underneath this one, so if you come underneath, you should be able to see this first one that I am pointing at. See it?
I might need to. The light's kind of hard.
Is that lighting help?
Yep. I go ahead and point in there.
Alright, so there's one of the screws, and then there's 2 more. There's one over here, and there's one all the way up back in this area. Where is it? I think I can feel this one right around there, and the other one's right here. So we'll get those removed, and then we'll show you the next step. So once you pulled out all the screws, get a shot from the front here. You can see now the headlight's nice and loose, but how do you get it out? Well, the next thing you want to do is pop your front trunk vanes here. With these ones open, you'll have access to remove the screws along the top portion here. What we're going to do is we're going to get the bumper off and out of the way, and then this headlight should pull right out. There's 3 on each side. 1, 2, 3. Get all 3 of those removed. Next. So the last 2 are going to be right here next to where we removed the headlight screws. There are going to be 2 more 10s here and over here. And then same thing on the other side. And once you've got all these out, these ones are already out, this whole bumper is nice and loose now. Other than, oh, I'm sorry, there's 2 more. Pull this back a bit, there should be 2 more. Again, repeat it on the other side. Remove these ones. This is what joins the bumper to the front fenders. So we'll get those off, and we'll show you how the front bumper slides off. With all the screws loose, gently pull forward on the bumper, and it will slide forward for you. And once you've got it off enough, you'll see here that the headlight is just enough loose for us to pull it out. Now, it's real easy to get to the plug here. Apply a little pressure to the top there. That's how that mechanism works. Pull it out, and there's your headlight. Now let's go clean it up. Now we're ready to sand the headlight. Get some towels ready. You're going to need that. You're going to need, is this just water? You're going to want some water, and preferably some water with a little bit of soap in it. We use like a car wash soap, dishwash soap, any of that will work. The next thing you'll want, sanding blocks are nice. These are great, so you're not using your fingers when you use these. They have a soft side. You can see this side's real squishy, and then the black side here doesn't give as much. So this side's great for doing contoured areas. The harder side you probably want to do on a flatter surface. Since this one's a little more contoured, we're going to use the soft side. And then you're going to need several different sandpapers. The best thing to do before you start this is soak your sandpaper. Otherwise it's going to be real rough and rigid, and what it'll do is it'll crease, and you can get valleys. It'll burn a little too hard with that harder edge. So the best thing to do is just let it soak in water for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then you can see they're far more pliable at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a 400 grit, and then what we're going to do is just work our way up slowly through the grits. We're going to go from 400 to 600 to 800 to 1,000 to 2,000, and then to finish, you're going to finish on 3,000 grit. I mean, this stuff, you don't even feel much of anything, but you'll get a real nice finish and a real good adhesion of your clear coat. Get your sandpaper set up on your sanding block. Get a little bit of water. Water with soap will help because that provides some lubrication. Wet down the surface and start sanding. And you want to sand in straight lines. Don't do swirls, don't do diagonals. If you're going to do diagonals, make sure everything is in the same direction. But sometimes it's best to just find an edge and move alongside that edge. And the same thing goes across the entire headlight. Stick with that one direction. And the idea here is you want to sand the surface until you can't see any more of this old layer that you're removing. And we'll show you what that will look like. And you'll be able to see the spots that are still shiny, because we want this thing to become nice and cloudy. So as you continue to sand, you'll notice that the surface is going to start to build up. This stuff will kind of act as a lubricant. You're not going to be removing as much material. So what you want to do is wipe it off frequently and get rid of the material. That's what our rags are for. And also what you'll notice is what finish you're starting to get. So you can start to see where you still need to sand and what's left to sand. We apply water and continue sanding. Another thing to note, notice how this is all nice and white? This is the actual plastic underneath. This here is the clear coat, or this could be the original plastic of the headlight, but this is what's peeling, and this is what we want to get rid of. And you can start to see there's a gradient going from a nice white to a dark yellow. So what you do is you want to sand in one spot, and then you want to fade in towards the other areas of the headlight. Remember, this headlight wasn't peeling. However, if your headlights were peeling, what you might notice is that the rest of the headlight has this nice frosted look to it, sort of opaque, and you'll have these little shiny spots. And that's usually where the clear coat is still quite high, and that's that stuff that was peeling off, and you want to get rid of that. So you want to have a nice uniform opaque look across the entire headlight. So that's the reason why you want to dry this off every so often, because when you're sanding it, you're not going to be able to see this as well. So now that we've dried this off, we can see that this spot right here is still a bit shiny, and we'll get rid of these little bits and pieces here. So don't forget about this side of your headlight, because this is going to need some clear coat too. And this one, we recommend, rather than hitting it with 400, hit it with like a 600 or 800, something a little softer, so you don't have to remove as many scratches and sand it as many times. Another area that you may not really notice that much, but this one's not doing it, but sometimes the clear coat cracks in this little valley here. And so what you want to do is make sure that you're sanding this area as well. And this one, just like the inside side of the headlight, you can hit that starting with like a 600 or 800 grit paper, but make sure that you're getting that part of the headlight sanded as well. Alright, that's the 3000 grit, and man, this is just sort of gliding on the top, but you can see there's a little bit of material that it's removing. And I'll wipe this off in just a second. Let's see how this looks.
Wet there. I can see he was wet.
We're just applying some tape to the weather stripping that goes around the edge here. So you don't want to spray that with clear coat, otherwise it kind of defeats the purpose of what that seal is supposed to do. This is a two-stage process. So first one is sort of like a adhesion promoter, and it leaves this sort of cloudy, milky coloring to it. And then the second part of it is the actual clear coat itself. So this helps the clear coat adhere to the plastic. And you can see this one's obviously nice and clear, but there's still a little bit of what we call orange peel. I don't know if you can pick that up. Can you get that kind of texture? You see the texture? It sort of looks like the rind or peel of an orange. And then when this dries, on Monday what we'll do is we'll buff it, and it'll be perfectly smooth like glass. It'll look brand spanking new.